Game Week 13 was one to forget for those of us with Spurs assets, but a score of 56 points was just enough to maintain rank, on the cusp of the top 50k. Alexander-Arnold was the only defender to keep a clean sheet, with the others each shipping a single goal. Man City were especially unfortunate to concede from the final kick of the game, after restricting the Hammers to just 0.22 expected goals, the lowest figure recorded by any team that featured in Game Week 13. Bukayo Saka finally got on the score sheet to give Arsenal the lead against Newcastle, but sadly left the field with what appeared to be a muscle injury. No teammate could better his 2 big chance involvements or his 3 shots inside the box. Placing faith in Rafinha at the expense of Diogo Jota didn't go so well, with the Brazilian failing to create a chance and taking just a single shot in the goalless draw with Brighton. And it was another uninspiring performance from Brian Mbeumo, with his 2 shots inside the box totaling an expected goals figure of just 0.12. He came in from the bench to replace Harry Kane after Tottenham's match with Burnley was postponed. But Ivan Toney made it 2 goals in 2 matches, calmly converting from the penalty spot in the 24th minute. That was in fact his only touch in the box all game, as Brentford looked to see out the result rather than build on their lead. But with another game week to prepare for in just over 24 hours, let's move swiftly on to the transfer plans. There are 2 free transfers available with 1.2 million in the bank, and Diogo Jota and Marcos Alonso are very much the key targets, but it's likely to be a choice between them rather than both coming in. Picking up where Ben Chilwell left off, Alonso took 13 of the 15 corners his side won against Man United on Sunday. Chelsea restricted their opponents to just 3 shots, the lowest tally of any side that featured in Game Week 13. One potential route to go down would be to just use 1 transfer, prioritising the Spaniard. That would see Tino Livramento make way in favour of a premium back 5. Southampton don't have many particularly good fixtures to come in the next 2 or 3 months now. Having 3 Chelsea defenders in the side would give greater assurance of fielding at least 1 or 2, even when rotation strikes. But the drawbacks of that plan are that it would mean fielding an unorthodox 5-2-3 formation, which may turn out to be restrictive down the line in terms of future transfers. And it means going without Diogo Jota and holding a potentially injured Bukayo Saka. So what I'm considering as an alternative route is going without Alonso and using both transfers to bring in the Liverpool midfielder. Reluctantly, I think the best way to free up the necessary funds may be to sell Raul Jimenez, a week earlier than planned. Whilst it has the potential to backfire in the short term, with Burnley up next for Wolves, it's the only downgrade that I can see which adds value to the squad in the longer term. His fixtures after this game week take a turn for the worse, with Liverpool, Man City and Chelsea in the 4 matches that follow. In his place would come Joshua King, who for me has surpassed Christian Benteke as the standout budget forward, after looking to have taken over penalty duties in Sarr's absence. He started every minute under Claudio Ranieri, notching 5 goals in the last 5 game weeks, where he ranks top amongst all players with tallies of 20 shots and 9 big chances. With ties against Chelsea and Man City up next, he'd only be warming the bench initially, before the fixtures improved from game week 16. The second free transfer in this plan would see injury doubt Bukayo Saka making way. Arsenal do have some good fixtures still to come, and if we were to get a positive update on him before Tuesday's deadline, that might sway me into keeping him. But while there's uncertainty there, he's the go-to midfielder to sell if Diogo Jota is to come in. Liverpool have certainly clicked into first gear over the last 2 matches, scoring 8 goals. No player in Game Week 13 took as many shots as Jota's 7, all of which were from inside the box, or recorded as many as his 3 big chances. So there are the 2 possible options, Jota and King with 2 transfers versus Alonso with 1. Let me know in the comments which route you prefer. I'm still considering both plans, but leaning towards the latter. And with that being said, here's how the team could shape up for Tuesday's Game Week 14 deadline. Arsenal have kept a league-high 3 clean sheets in the last 4 game weeks, only conceding to Liverpool in that time. Man United meanwhile have scored just 5 goals, and no side have attempted fewer than their 27 shots. It's set to be an unchanged back 4, unless Marcos Alonso comes in to make it a back 5, as mentioned earlier. But I'm quite happy to keep Antonio Rudiger, who was threatening again on Sunday, striking the crossbar with a long-range effort in the first half, before lashing a volley over the top with virtually the last kick of the game. Given the quick turnaround, I wouldn't be too surprised to see some rotation in there, with James and Cancelo perhaps most at risk. If Diogo Jota does come in as mentioned in the transfer plans, it will mean reluctantly fielding Brian Mbeumo in a 4-man midfield. Over the last 3 game weeks, he's found the target with just 1 of his 5 shots, but no teammate can better his 14 touches in the opposition penalty box. Some of Brentford's best attacking performances have come against the bigger teams this season, against Liverpool, West Ham, Chelsea, so perhaps it will suit them if Spurs dominate possession and allow them to counter. Rafinha has netted twice in the last 4 game weeks, with only Jota scoring more goals amongst midfielders in that time. The Brazilian ranks amongst the top 3 midfielders for shots on target per game in the same period, just trailing Harvey Barnes and Leandro Trossard. Ivan Toney has landed 5 shots on target in the last 4 game weeks, ranking joint top amongst forwards alongside Pukki, Benteke and Aubameyang. He ranks 3rd for expected goals in that time, and 6th for non-penalty expected goals. When buying Harry Kane a couple of weeks ago, the plan was to give him the captain's armband for these upcoming home matches against Brentford and Norwich. After the postponement at Burnley, you'd expect Tottenham and Kane would be more fresh for these midweek matches. And in the last 4 game weeks, Brentford have conceded 8 goals, with only Newcastle shipping more. But things are yet to fully click for Spurs under Conte, while Liverpool have taken their performances up a level in the last couple of matches. They made light work of breaching what had been an improved Southampton defence last game week, and now face an Everton side struggling with ongoing injuries. The midweek turnaround could be especially difficult for the Toffees, given how threadbare their squad is at the moment. So it's probably going to have to be Mohamed Salah who wears the armband once again.